Hey, everybody, this is Pat at Dancing Moon Travel. So happy to have the masked man. It's not the Lone Ranger, folks. It's my associate, our marketing director, Kevin Gregg, here with us from just outside Dublin, Ireland. So, welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. And we'll be, feel free to enter comments and in the chat box. And I see we've got some all those already coming in. So that's always good, Kevin.
Well,
And
Pat, with our intro being messed up and everything else, I'm just wondering what else could go wrong today.
do you think anything could go wrong today?
Who knows?
Okay. Folks, we do have a little announcement. We had our guest canceled on us today. She had an emergency. Her boss actually had to have emergency surgery. And so Michelle had to cover for her boss's scheduled call, an international call. It somehow or another it outranked us today, but she'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. We're going to reschedule. So Kevin and I just had to make a plan on the fly. We're pretty good at that, Kevin. We can always travel, so we're fine. But stay tuned. We're going to give you a lot of information today about the cruise industry, what's going on with that. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID. We're going to talk about, there's places you can go, not necessarily the same places that you should always go, but we're going to touch on some of that, what top destinations that people are asking for 2021, all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned. We have a full agenda here, and I maybe might get on a little rant here at some point. But Kevin, you had some important information to share about our giveaway.
Absolutely. Today is the last day to get your name entered into the pot for our drawing. We've got these great packing cubes, and if you're not familiar with them, they are the best. I've been traveling and packing a lot of suitcases in my life, and these things are amazing. They really help you organize your suitcase. So we're giving those away, and we're also adding in a little bonus of this passport wallet that's customized. We've got 30 different types of sayings on the front of on the cover, and then they're personalized with your name. But we're going to be giving those away. You just need to stay till the end of the broadcast, and we have a secret code word that you need to enter in the comments, and that code word today is Kevin is cool. So you just enter in Kevin is cool in the comments at the conclusion of our broadcast today, and you'll be entered in the drawing, and we'll probably do the drawing tomorrow, right, Pat?
I think that's a good time to do it. We might as well do this and get this stuff on order. So today, get your name in the hat because you want to definitely be in the drawing. This is good stuff, folks. We don't give away any junk. So high quality merchandise here and always travel related. So anyway, and Kevin, let's greet. We've got Cheryl and Kathy on here. So welcome there. They've made comments here, and it's all good. And Cheryl really wants those passport covers and the cubes. So she loves to organize. She says so. She is. There we go. Anyway, everybody, we're going to kind of get moving on our broadcast here and take some of the meat out of it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is
Pat, before you do that, are we going to have a giveaway next month too?
Oh, we will. We will. I haven't decided yet what it's going to be. So people need to come back because we will be putting that out for next week. But we're going to do this every month, folks. And the more times you watch live, the more times you will be able to enter and get some of this cool merchandise. So be sure to tune in next week. Just one more reason why you don't want to miss any of our broadcasts. We really will be giving you extra chances to get your name in the hat every single week. But are we cleared to go then, Kevin?
I think we're ready to go. And Pat, I'll hang on here and throw in my 2 cents once in a while, but I do need to probably just step away for a minute here and just a little bit.
Okay, well, I can rant on, but first we're going to start. Hey, there's Phyllis joining us too, so glad to have everybody here. So anyway, about the cruise industry, the folks know none of the cruise industry, none of the major lines is having any issues as far as doing refunds. Now they do take a while, but if you they all have programs out there. If you want to cruise next year, you can book with total confidence now, knowing that you're covered if you should decide not to go. A lot of these, it varies some by cruise line, but they cover you so you can book with confidence, knowing that your deposits are fully refundable. Most of them up to 48 hours actually prior to your scheduled departure. That's through a lot of 2021 even. So book with confidence and book often. But yeah, the cruise lines are, they're all in good shape, and they are all none of them are giving people cause for concern as far as their financial viability, whether they will still be around. They're all on solid financial ground for the time being. So you can book your cruises with confidence, and they're all treating guests as they should as far as their deposits and refunds and so forth. So cruise lines are great to deal with. We're so glad for that. It makes us feel good to be part of this industry. The next thing about the cruise industry is, folks, I don't expect, I've been one of the more optimistic people in the industry as far as hoping that they would get back on track and that we'd start to see cruising by November. Currently, I am feeling less confident about that. I'm thinking it's going to be January. But it is what it is. We have various things that have entered into that, and I'll get into the latest one of those here very shortly. But I don't expect that we're going to see cruises departing probably before the first of the year at this point. Sadly to say, I'm very anxious. I am having cruise withdrawal myself, folks, so I share any pain that you're experiencing in that regard. The latest development this week is the CDC. Now, here's where I kind of tend to get into a little bit of a rant. I'll try not to be at all political about it because I don't care what side of the political spectrum people are on. I'm so tired of everything, but whether you're breathing right, it's somehow a political statement these days. But this isn't anything about politics. It's just the CDC really is hard on the cruise industry, folks. They have requirements for the cruise industry. Nothing is more heavily regulated already prior to any of this than the cruise industry has been. The inspections that they are required to undergo twice a year on every ship, surprise inspections where they just jump on board and go over that with a fine-tooth comb. It is really the finest restaurants in this country would have a hard time passing one of these inspections. They are so rigorous and so detailed. But the latest is that now the CDC is asking for public commentary on and advice on what should be required in order for the cruise line to be able to sail. In order for them to lift this no sail order, they want public commentary. Now, folks, I'm going to admit that I am a bit puzzled by this. the CDC is all about science. At least it's supposed to be all about science. They have scientific facts, and everybody says, science is facts. And so why are they not basing this no sale order on scientific facts and making certain requirements for the cruise lines to sail based on science? And here we go, all of a sudden we're basing everything on public opinion. Now, that it just confuses me. If you have a negative opinion about cruising, fine. We're not, we're not going to hold a gun to anybody's head and make them get on a cruise ship. The CDC is not going to force people. Now they can force you to not be able to cruise, but they can't make you get on a cruise ship. The cruise lines themselves cannot make you get on one of their ships. So it is a free choice about whether you sail or whether you're not to sail, whether you think cruising is the most fabulous vacation in the world, an opinion that I happen to share, or you think that nobody should ever take a cruise. It's a horrible vacation, and that's opinion, and I don't think that the CDC is supposed to be about opinion. It's supposed to be about science. So it leaves me feeling rather confused as to why all of a sudden we have public opinion entering into this.
Well,
if you
Pat, one thing I'd like to interject here is that before this COVID issue, there was a lot of people out there that didn't like cruising anyway. So why? I don't know why public opinion. I don't. There's things I don't like, but I don't do them.
Right. You just everybody has their preferred vacation, and we're happy to book anybody on any kind of vacation. We don't force anybody to cruise that doesn't want to cruise. We don't mean we don't understand that totally, but anyway, it's a public opinion. If you have that opinion that nobody should take a cruise, I would suggest that maybe you contract your people in Congress and propose a constitutional amendment and get make cruising and nobody in the United States is just ban cruising if you don't like it. But it just doesn't. It seems so odd to me that we have this public opinion piece all of a sudden entering into what's supposed to be a scientific endeavor. But the questions, I mean, you've got like 16 pages of this here, folks, on this thing. And trust me, I will be responding to this. I will be working on that this week. But things like, should cruise ship operators be required to provide scientific evidence that reducing passenger capacity will prevent transmission on board? Now, I thought that this was science, and this has pretty much been settled, that reducing capacity wherever is going, is part of what we're doing here with the social distancing. Am I confused about that? But why is the cruise line industry being, having this question asked when it's already been pretty much, we're all having to go by that here on dry land. I don't know. It just leaves me very confused. But that's my rant, folks. I don't understand why we're getting into public opinion with the CDC for what should be. Let's get some scientific guidelines in place that the cruise lines can check off the list and get ready to sail again. Public opinion is, Jan says it sounds crazy. I think it is. But that's just us, folks. But anyway, getting back to this, other things on our list today. I've got on probably a little bit too long on that, but I feel pretty strongly about it. We're going to go on COVID. I don't know where things stand in your area. Right here in Florida, things have been really hot here on the COVID front, particularly on the East Coast. Finally, about the last 4 days, we are beginning to see the numbers coming down finally. I think people are beginning to in some places we've actually got put in requirements that people, so when they can't social distance, wear their mask. Apparently it is beginning to pay off. And I don't know, we've got the people who are for masks or against masks, but whatever, it seems like it's working and our numbers are beginning to come down. So if you're in a different area of the country, would love to hear how the numbers are looking in your area. I'm very thankful to see them starting to come down in our area, but would love to hear what's going on your front, wherever you're located.
I'm not located in the U.S., as you know.
Right.
But things are improving here as well. We're definitely seeing a big change, and it is not a requirement any place in Ireland to wear a mask except on public transportation. If you're going to take the bus or the train, it is required. Just this week, they did upgrade that a little bit to the point of if you're grocery shopping, you also need to wear a mask. But I went down to my local market today, and I would say 80% of the people were wearing masks in the store.
Okay. And, Kevin, we probably should mention, we've had a few people that came on a little later here. Folks, in case you tuned in a little late, you should know that our guest got called away on an emergency today, and it wasn't able to join us. So Kevin and I are bringing some updates on various topics that we hope will be of general interest. Michelle from Authentic Vacations will be back with us in a couple of weeks. We will reschedule, but her boss ended up with emergency surgery this morning, and she had to cover for her. So we just quickly threw together some things that we think might be of interest to everybody. Just wanted to update those of you who might have joined us late. Kevin, you better get that mask on. We're really concerned here. That is a very nice mask, by the way. It looks really good.
It's patriotic.
Very, very good color for you too, by the way. So another topic I thought we'd talk about today is where can you travel? And folks, as strange as it might seem, even in the midst of all this, there are places available to travel. And that definitely does include, Kevin, the USA is wide open for travel for the most part. There are some local restrictions here and there. And if you want to travel, we're happy to help you even with the domestic travel, help you plan full itineraries if you need that help, and keep you updated with any local requirements that you might need to be aware of as you go out and about. But so domestic travel is definitely a great option right now. A lot of people are more comfortable sticking closer to home. We have all kinds of options, resorts and hotels and private properties, villas and condos and the like. So Jan Fowler says she's been traveling to her kitchen too often. I think some of us have found that to be the case. Me too. Sometimes I just get, I call it grazing. I just can't, nothing that seems like the right thing. So I'll have a little of this. I'll go back for that. So I think a lot of us are having trouble staying out of our kitchens when we can't get out and about quite as much. But one of the places that I wanted to bring up where you can travel are various points in the Caribbean. For the most part, the Caribbean is quite open right now, particularly Mexico. You will have your temperature checked when you arrive there, but Mexico is a destination where you definitely, thank you, Kevin, for bringing up that image of beautiful Mexico. Also, Mexico is pretty much always the best value destination in the entire Caribbean. The Cancun area in particular, fabulous resorts, beautiful beaches, and a lot of them are actually only operating with a 20% capacity right now. So you talk about social distancing. Um, a lot of these Caribbean resorts, you can really feel comfortable with social distancing. Some of the other destinations right there in the Caribbean that I would recommend, you've got Antigua and Barbuda. There are some requirements they want you to have. Yeah, here's a great one. Just show that map up there. Some of the destinations you can pick out. But Dominican Republic is another one that's pretty much wide open. Also, one of the top 3 value destinations. They're pretty much always Cancun area, Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. Pretty much in that order. If you're looking for fabulous resorts, beautiful beaches, and none of them have been hit nearly as hard by the COVID virus as we were here in the United States. So great options for travel currently. I would not hesitate to go myself in the morning. How about you, Kevin?
Well, I'm curious. I haven't really read up on that. Here in people trying to get to Europe have to, if they, well, Ireland's one of the only few EU countries that are still allowing people to come from the US. But if you do come here, you have to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
Now,
got
is there anything like that in the resort areas or?
Okay, now there are some areas, and that's where you need to just check with us because I do have those requirements here. Some of them require a negative test result within 7 days. Some of them require negative test within 72 hours. There are 1 or 2 that require a test result within 48 hours. But we like St. Lucia is 7 days. Um, uh, Bermuda is within 5 days. So it varies, but you can get the negative test results usually. And but Mexico and the Dominican Republic do not have requirements. You can visit those destinations and enjoy them. And the resorts are beautiful. It's just a wonderful and with them being some of them pretty much all of them at less than 50% capacity. Now, Croatia, this is another area where you can go now. Croatia is open to travel. They do require a negative test result taken within 48 hours of arrival. My concern about Croatia, it's one of the few European countries where you can travel without any requirements to self-isolate, but that is a very long plane ride to get there. It's not the easiest destination to get to. So I would really want my clients to consider carefully whether they want to do that now. Hold off a bit on that one, I think would be my advice. Don't go, aim for 2021. Hopefully by then we're going to have a vaccine. Possibly this virus will mutate and become less of a problem than it is. But I really wouldn't advise while it's open, it's not necessarily the thing to do right now.
Well, jumping on that Croatia as well, because it is open and one of the few countries that is open, it's being visited by a lot of Europeans, and it's very crowded right now.
Okay. That is good to know. You've got a little more of the inside scoop on that right now. If it were me, and I wish it were, I would leave in the morning for Cancun, for any of those, the Mexican Riviera, for Dominican Republic, and I think even Jamaica is requiring. They have some particular requirements. If you're from New York, Florida, Arizona, and Texas. For Jamaica, you need to have a negative test within the past 10 days. So not very restrictive on Jamaica. I would go to any one of those destinations without any hesitation. So those would be areas where definitely I think they're good to travel. And of course, as we mentioned, the USA domestic travel is great right now. If you want to stick closer to home, we understand that. And there are great options. And this is a beautiful country. I'm betting there are places you haven't been yet. So we will be covering more of the USA travel in a couple of weeks. So do stay tuned down the line in a couple of weeks to hear more about that.
Well, you know, Pat, on Facebook, we see all the time these things about how many states have you been to, and it's
Mhm.
really amazing to me the number of people that maybe have only been to 5 or 6 states, or they've never left their home state. There's so much to see in the U.S., so much that there's beautiful areas to go to. I mean, if you haven't been to like the Grand Canyon, or how about going to the Rocky Mountains? You can isolate up there. I've got a friend now that went up to Aspen for a while because they're out wide open. So there's so much to do in the US.
There is, and it's wide open. And for fall and winter travel, if you have the West Coast is a good destination. The Southwest definitely. Skiing up in the Rocky Mountains, fresh air. New England and up in that area, great fall destinations. So there are great opportunities for travel in the U.S. And we're happy to help with those trips if you want to. So Kevin, I actually this morning was on a webinar that gave me the top 5 destinations that people are booking for next year. This is a poll that was taken for a wide swath of travel agents when they asked what they were booking now. So the top 5, what do you think might be the top destination that people are wanting to travel to for 2021?
Are you asking me, or are you asking
Okay, anybody want to enter a guess in the comment section? Let's see if anybody can come up with what you think would be the top travel destination for U.S. travelers going to Iran. Oh, no, it's not Iran. Anybody else want to hazard a guess?
I think I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess someplace like Australia because they've had such good numbers and it's a popular place for people to go.
Okay, well, Jan says Disney World. Well, that's always about the most popular. We're talking about international though. So, top destination.
Disney Paris.
Disney's Paris. That's it. France wasn't even on the list, but the top destination that agents are currently booking for 2021, Japan. It's a very good. That's number 1. Closely followed by Italy, Greece, Ireland, and this one may be another surprise for you, Egypt. Egypt has been very hot for a couple of years now. Yeah, it is very hot. It gets very warm there, but this was the other kind of hot where it's very popular. So, yeah, those are the top destinations for people. And I'll tell you one thing that surprised me. Also, the river cruises are very popular for next summer. And I was doing a quote on that for somebody next year. I was very surprised to see how quickly the space has filled on the river cruise that I was doing. I was happened to be looking at Viking, but many of the room categories for next June were already full on this June 20th departure. So if a river cruise is on your bucket list for next year, I would tell people not to delay over much in order to get yours preferred dates and room categories. So there you have it for top destinations. We got a few minutes here, Kevin. I thought just to close down that we might just share with people what we've been up to as travel has been kind of, slow. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Slow. So I know, Kevin, you have been busy. Your stuff just never ends. You're up on the social media, and folks, doesn't Kevin do a wonderful job with his posts and keeping everybody so many fun things and current things and you know, he's Kevin, you're a wizard at that. You're just so good with that social media and you just come up with ideas and information and I just love it. But
Well, Pat, one thing that we've been doing is we were contacted by someone in Kansas City, I won't mention names, about putting together a group cruise for 2021, and we've been working on that. We have some interest in people. We have several bookings, and we've got a lot of interest from people that are
half
wanting to get
full,
together.
or about half of the staterooms that we blocked off. Not that we couldn't add more if we need them. So yeah, we're half full, but that's technical. We could always add more. So yeah, we've been busy with getting that launched and booking. We've been busy with Kevin's been busy on the social media front and keeping everything up there. I have been, I developed this new specialty in trip cancellation. So basically everything that was on the books for 2020 has gone, just kind of evaporated. So we've been doing a lot of that, and I hate to say it, that's not a specialty I'd ever looked for, but that has taken, that's taken a lot of time and have to keep on top of that. But um, I've really been focused on always trying to be connected with webinars and what's going on in the industry. I'm on a call later with a cruise line industry update. That's an invitation only thing where some of the top industry leaders and selected travel agents will be interacting online. So lots of things like that. There's uh, always more education and more training and trying to stay updated. Lori has a question here. She wants to know what are our thoughts on the cruise line sailing this year. And we covered this a little earlier, Lori, and I was hoping that we might see cruises departing by November, but given the developments this week, I think January is probably going to be realistic. I don't think any. I'm going to be somewhat surprised. And I up until last week, I was still holding some hope that we'd see sailings in November, but with the latest things out from the CDC and this new effort they have for public response, I don't think we're going to see anything before January. So I think booking for next year is definitely something that we recommend booking fairly early, because I do think that we're going to see a combination of decreased capacity. They're almost sure to have decreased capacity on these ships. They're not going to be sailing full. And I think that we're going to see probably fewer ships sailing, at least at the beginning part of the year. So, yeah, and we're going to see high demand. I mean, people are wanting to travel. So yeah, we're going to have high demand. We're going to have less space available. And I'm afraid, that over a period of months, we're going to see some people seeing some higher fares. Yes, Jan, I'm hoping your January cruise is going to happen. I'm feeling still hopeful about January. So hoping definitely that will be the case. So I guess that about covers everything we put together here for today's discussion. Anybody have a question or comment? Questions that we can answer? Thanks for the question, Lori.
I think they're just all excited about putting their name in the hat for the drawing.
I think so too. So what's that code word again, Kevin?
the code word is Kevin is cool.
Kevin
And
is cool. Now
yeah,
is the time to enter your.
cool with a K.
Kevin is
Yeah, and
cool.
so we'll have a drawing, and from the people that have entered in the drawing for during the month of July, we'll have one winner. We'll draw that name out tomorrow from everyone that has put in the secret code word, and someone is going to win the packing cubes and the passport wallet.
Yeah.
So some good prizes there.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pair of those passport covers there. So if you have a regular traveling companion, it will be one for each of you.
Can they each pick their own custom design, or do the designs have to be the same?
I think the designs have to be the same on the order. So Kevin's been busy making toast, Denny says.
Yeah,
It's like
we can
everybody's thinking you're cool, Kevin.
we can disregard Denny.
Never, not at all. Okay, well, anybody? Cheryl says good luck to everyone, but she hopes she wins. She's got a lot of entries. She's been here for I think every single one this month. So
Yeah, I think she has. She has more entries, so the odds are in her favor.
okay, but that doesn't mean the rest of you don't have a chance. It only takes one to win the big winner.
Yeah, I've got my fingers crossed.
Okay, everybody. Well, next week you want to stay tuned. We have Talk coming on board with us. If you're not familiar with them, it's because they don't advertise. Everything is word of mouth. They are a high-end, fabulous tour company. They do small ship cruising and river cruises also. I have traveled with them, and I can tell you it is amazing when you take one of their trips. So if you're a high-end traveler or just aspire to be, you want to definitely tune in next week and hear about how they differ from the rest of the tour providers out there. Anything else to add?
I don't, and I think everyone is ready
Okay.
for the drawing. We'll announce it tomorrow.
Okay, winner will be announced. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.